has gotten out of hand with crime, with the bad negative things that are going on. Why is it so preposterous that we would want our students to have the option to have some good principles instilled in them? If they don't hear it at home, let them read it in the classroom.
You benefit from Christianity, but you somehow want to act like it don't have nothing to do with your life. If the people, the founding of this country didn't believe in God, we wouldn't be where we're at today. You wouldn't have freedoms that you have today. Even the LGBTQ community. You wouldn't have the same acceptance and freedoms if people didn't believe in God, which is means love your neighbor as yourself. Brought to you by Save the Storks, brought to you by Save the Storks. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since 2012, there was over 1 million abortions in our country in 2023. Medical abortions, the pill that your daughter, your niece, your granddaughter, your neighbor, teenager at the church, they can get it in the mail, or they can even get it at a local drugstore. Those types of abortions account for 63% of all abortions last year. And these numbers are very likely underreported, as many women who take the abortion pill are not included in these stats. Don't be fooled. If you live in a state where abortions are restricted, young women are still getting the abortion pill, or they are traveling to another state to get an abortion legally, and they call it abortion scholarships, which to me is unprecedentedly insane. But did you know that many women who take the abortion pill, they're taking it and they have no idea of the developmental stage that the baby is inside the womb? How is this healthcare? How is this real choice for women? And this is why I love Save the Storks. They've taken an innovative approach by having medical mobile clinics. They're in 34 different states. They got over 100 medical mobile units. And we're going to have one right here in Phoenix, Arizona. And this is where I need your help. If you donate those amounts, the residual of $50 a month or the one-time $250 payment, you'll get one of these shirts. Or if you don't have that, $35 is the amount per month that'll help one woman. And so if you do $35 a month, if you don't want to be a Stork Bus angel and get one of these shirts, that will be sufficient. But nonetheless, I need your help. Let's do this thing. Let's not just be talkers. Let's be doers of helping women with a real choice. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notification anytime I go live, make a video. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, a congresswoman from Louisiana on their head on CNN about the 10 Commandments being in the schools. Let me just say this real quick. And her name is Lauren Ventrella. I can't find her on social media. I would love to follow her. She's a rock star. Very professional, and I love that accent. I'm just saying. I don't know if that means anything. When a Southern accent or a Louisiana accent is talking about God, I love it. All right, so anyway, let me just give my take on the 10 Commandments. In Louisiana school district required that schools put, amongst other things, the 10 Commandments in the classroom. I think that's absolutely perfect to do. It's not a problem. There's no issue with separation of church and state. People that argue that, they're complete idiots. So I'm gonna play her clip, and then I'm gonna give my 2 cents about why I think these people are absolutely nutty for thinking that this is a separation of the church and state issue.
Fundamentally, you understand that there's a separation between church and state, and that if you're a student at a school, say you're Muslim or Hindu or atheist, having that on the wall, doesn't that endorse a specific set of beliefs?
Absolutely not. It is a historical document. Again,
but there are historical documents. There are historical documents that actually this law authorizes to be displayed in classrooms, like the Mayflower Compact, the Declaration of Independence, and others. But this one is specifically religious.
This is a.
Hold on. I'm gonna play it. I promise. Just from the onset, this guy is disingenuous and stupid at best. The Mayflower Compact. All of these things come from a Christian nation. So you can argue that just the founding documents of this nation is religiously biased. We don't have Sharia law in the school, do we? So what are we saying?
A very valuable document. Look, this nation has gotten out of hand with crime, with the bad negative things that are going on. Why is it so preposterous that we would want our students to have the option to have some good principles instilled in them? If they don't hear it at home, let them read it in the classroom. It's no different than the Mayflower Mayflower Compact, which is mentioned in the document as well. I don't understand why this is so preposterous and that litigation is being threatened. It doesn't scare us in the state of Louisiana. We say bring it on.
What would you say if your child had to go to a classroom in which the 5 pillars of Islam were required to be on the wall? How would you feel?
Again, this is not about the 5 pillars of Islam. This bill specifically states the 10 Commandments. It is a historical
document. I'm
document.
presenting you with a hypothetical that would help you put yourself in the shoes of someone you may not understand and their point of view.
Islam didn't build America. So it is preposterous to think that we would have the 5 pillars of Islam. Islam or whatever pillars of Islam. Islam didn't build America. If you went to the Middle East and they had the Quran quoted everywhere, would you be shocked? The nation was built on the Quran. Our nation was built on the Bible. And to be honest, all the Abrahamic religions believe in the Old Testament. What are y'all saying? Muslims believe in the 10 Commandments. Christians believe in the 10 Commandments. Catholics believe in the 10 Commandments. Mormons believe in the 10 Commandments. Jews believe in the 10 Commandments. What are y'all talking about? The 10 Commandments encompass every Abrahamic religion. Okay.
How would you feel if you walked into a classroom and something you didn't believe in was required to be on the wall? You can answer that question.
I appreciate you, Chris. I cannot sit here and gather and fathom what you could give me 1,000 hypotheticals. But again, this specific bill applies to this specific text. The Quran or Islam, that is a very broad statement. We're specifically talking about a limited text on, mind you, a piece of paper that's not much bigger than a legal sheet of paper. Some kids might even need a magnifying glass to read all of this. This is not so preposterous that we're somehow sanctioning and forcing religion down people's throat. I've heard the comments, and it's just ridiculous.
I mean, a requirement is a requirement, right? Your law mandates a specific version of the commandments be posted. Here is one of them. I want to share it with our viewers. It says, quote, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his cattle, nor anything that is thy neighbor's." I'm wondering why this specific version of the commandments was selected.
So the reason why for that is because it is the most historical reference. It is one of the original translations into the English language, and to preserve the actual history of the document, the drafters of the legislation felt that it was very important to maintain that historical context and that language that portrays it in the best historical light possible.
I'm in no way diminishing anyone's beliefs. I don't think that my personal beliefs are important to this story. But I do have to point out and ask you about the fact that religious scholars don't even agree who wrote the 10 Commandments, where or when they were written. Does that not give you pause in any way that this comes from a religious document and not from something that's based in secular agreement or in a doctrine that a group of people have come to accept, something like the Constitution?
This dude's got to be the stupidest person in the world. They just find a reason to not want to believe in God. Hey, man, there is something called scriptural texts. And then there's scriptural texts that have been verified. It's reasonable to believe that people that wrote this believe that it happened. And it's written by people, articulated by people in different dispensations of time that never met anybody. I mean, they never met each other. And so the historical context of this document is legitimate and true. And look, they'll put Shakespeare in the classroom and reference Shakespeare, and we don't have nowhere near the evidence of the founding writings of Shakespeare in comparison to the Bible, especially after the Dead Sea Scrolls. What are y'all saying? You just want to make up something to try to discredit God. Scholars don't agree. They don't fully agree with everything, but unanimously, it is believed that Moses had the commandments, and Moses received the commandments from God. Unanimously, in Christianity, in Islam, in Mormonism, in Catholicism, and you can say Catholicism and Christianity the same thing, but you get what I'm saying. In Judaism, every major religion with billions of people that follow them unanimously agree that Moses received the commandments from God. What are you saying? It's on paper. It's unanimously accepted by every major religion. And because some scholars may think, well, maybe it wasn't written in this century, or maybe Moses or somebody wrote this, and it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
Look, religious scholars may not agree, but I'm going to tell you right now, Louisiana in both houses agreed, and we passed this legislation. Look, Louisiana is not California or New York. It may make people uncomfortable in other states, but in this legislature this year, it was a resounding acceptance of this legislation, and that's what's most important.
What should a teacher tell a kindergartner who asks what adultery is?
Well, the teacher should be able to have an appropriate response, which is to tell them, look, guys, this is a historical document that's posted on the wall to remind everyone of good morals, good principles. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not lie. These are important things. I think that in the state of Louisiana, we have echoed a strong voice that we believe that faith is a very important part of history and the founding of this nation.
100%.
Again, we've got it posted in historical buildings all over the place. I don't understand why this is such a shock factor to the nation that we would somehow do this. I'm proud that in the state of Louisiana, we're leading the charge on this, and I am proud to press the button in favor.
100%. Love that. Listen, on your money, it says, in God we trust. What you going to do, throw the money away? Is the money hurt your feelings? In our Pledge of Allegiance, one nation under God. In the Constitution, or at least, you know, where it says that we have these inalienable rights that are given to us by our Creator, God. What are you saying? The whole purpose of our rights are rooted in the fact that God gave it to us, and no man can take it. What are we saying, man? There is a consistency across the board that God has always been in the founding of America. God should always be in the forefront of America. And if you're a dumb atheist and you don't love it, go live in a country where they believe in nothing. How do you benefit? Y'all benefit from, it's what makes me mad. You benefit from Christianity, but you somehow want to act like it don't have nothing to do with your life. If the people at the founding of this country didn't believe in God, we wouldn't be where we're at today. You wouldn't have freedoms that you have today. Even the LGBTQ community. You wouldn't have the same acceptance and freedoms if people didn't believe in God, which is mean love your neighbor as yourself. God dang. What do you tell a kid when they say adultery? Well, listen, y'all don't mind doing story time, drag queens, and transgenderism and transitioning kids, but somehow if your kid said, what's adultery? That means that your mother and father should be faithful to one another. That means if your mother and father is in a relationship, in a marriage, they shouldn't date other people. That ain't that hard. Let me get it. I'm out of here.